Alright, boys and girls and boys, it's your time to be with King Jiffy Coats. The world is once set in motion again. We are living in a time that is understandably better than the last time you saw me. Maybe, probably, I don't fucking know. Alright, boys and girls. We are going to be getting into some crazy stuff today. Well, I don't know about crazy, but we're going to get into some stuff. I saw something come up in my feed today, and I thought about you guys. I don't know why I thought about you guys, because this thing is old. I saw something on old YouTube, right? Old YouTube. I saw this jabroni right here. I saw this guy right here in his weird Ash Ketchum-all. His weird Ash Ketchum-all Catch Jamal hat. Weird Ash Catch Jamal hat. And I was like, you know, old YouTube was something to behold. Old YouTube was a different landscape. The world from Jizz, I mean, it's 2Z. World J2Z. World of Jizz here made a video called Ridiculousness versus Tosh.0. Two things that are obscure as crap anymore. I mean, well, ridiculousness I think is still going. I think ridiculousness is still going strong. The people that are like my parents' age are really into ridiculousness. I always thought ridiculousness was okay, but Rob Dyrdek was one of the most annoying people to ever exist. I mean, I liked Rob and Big or whatever, but I was never like, how do you say it? Like, the hugest Rob Dyrdek fan. I remember liking Robin Big, and that was about it. The Fantasy Factory was something. It was something. But how do I zoom in? I don't know. We're gonna watch this. This is so old YouTube. This guy's got the neck beard, the shitty patchy beard. This is wonderful. I mean, we got Rob Dyrdek versus Tosh, which Tosh actually did this back in the day. Back in the day, he actually crapped on ridiculousness for being a ripoff of his show. But we're going to see what this guy has to say about it. Go down some old YouTube rabbit holes.
Due to unpopular demand, it's back. The world from J to Z with an all-new intro as well.
Bro, the world from Jizz is coming in cooking, dude. Look at him just with the world map with the stupid flags on him. What? The lightning bolts? Jesus, dude. Jesus. God, we've come a long way from this. We've come a huge way. I actually put an intro in some of my old videos. I don't think it's there on anything on the channel now. But I put an intro because, like, I just remember everybody having an intro. And this was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to put an intro in. It was literally the clip from Modern Warfare 2 where you shoot all the people. But it had, like, Wii music in front of it. And then it just said, your opinion. And I shot it. It was terrible. It was god-awful. And I said, I'm just going to get into videos. I'm just going to do the thing. I'm not going to do this intro thing. And I'm glad that we kind of moved away from this.
So in this edition of The World from J to Z, we're going to talk about ridiculousness versus Tosh.0. Now, Tosh.0 came before ridiculousness, and some of you might be like, well, Tosh.0 is just a ripoff of the soup. Now,
dude, I love that this old YouTube, it's just got this giant black box around it. If you go to, like, regular screen, dude, it looks like it fits, right? It looks like it fits. And then, like, you go to full screen and it's just zoomed in the middle. It's just wild about it. I have some videos that I messed up with on my channel that are something like this because when it uploaded it put this black box around. It's something you kind of got to learn with editing, especially even with new editors. When you go to aspect ratio, make sure you do that at the beginning and not at the end. Because if you do it at the end, it'll suck all your shit right down. It'll be like that whore on the corner who knows how to suck a golf ball out of a hose.
Is to an extent, but not really. I mean, the suit focuses on TV clips and whatnot, and they might have like 1 or 2 internet clips, whereas Tosh.0 features all internet clips, okay? And see, the reason ridiculousness doesn't work is, one, it's a direct ripoff. Like, I like Rob Dyrdek.
But here's the thing, though. This is what made Tosh different than both ridiculousness. Ridiculousness is more of a ripoff of hey Mike, more of a ripoff of America's Funniest Home Videos with the internet. Tosh was peak comedy. I don't know how to... Tosh.0 is one of the funniest shows to ever exist. Tosh.0 is where, like, my fundamental humor, like, growing up, like, I remember, like, watching Tosh.0 and just the gay jokes were so fucking peak, dude. They were, like, up top. Is it racist, dude? He would do skits on that show that were just fucking primo, dude.
He's an awesome guy. I watched his... You know, like the life story he had at MTV. I know, I watched MTV for once. And I do like the Fantasy Factory, which is a pretty awesome show.
Fantasy Factory, I remember liking that. I watched a clip of it recently at work, dude. I was like, remember when somebody brought up Rob Dyrdek, and I was like, the only thing I remember of Rob Dyrdek is Robin Big in that time on Fantasy Factory when he walked through the glass, and the dude didn't know about thinking about walking through the glass because he's talking about skateboarding. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna pull up the video of him walking through the glass. Dude, it is so bad. It is so bad, dude. It like. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna go right here, dude. We're gonna go right here. Right here, dude. I pulled it up recently, so it's like... Here we go, dude. Here we go. This is so bad. This is awful. This is what, like, if you used to watch Rob Dyrdek shit and you think that it was, like, real... Just watch this and you will realize this was all scripted.
So me and Stilo Brim here, we're just having a conversation, okay, about the movie Chronicle, right? Where it is basically all the kids have super...
Look at fucking CeeLo, dude. He's trying so hard. He's like, yeah, you Chronicle, dude. Fucking Chronicle, man.
Powers, and they can do stuff move stuff with their mind and all this stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, dude. I totally know what you are talking about.
I was explaining to him about the old walk through the glass door trick.
Don't
that
say
everybody...
the old...
Dude, it's so fucking bad.
It's like it's a known fact.
It is not.
And it is done for years, and people have done it as long as there's been glass doors.
Dude, look at him fucking preparing his next line. He's hitting so there's this thing about hitting cue and acting, right? You're hitting your cue. This dude's hitting cue early. So he's hitting cue early so the audience then knows that it is fake.
I've never heard of this.
Okay, and it basically is this, where, you know, the way a window is built, right? If you step into it, walking slowly and hit your thigh and forehead at the same time, you can walk right through it.
Keep in mind, when I watched this when I was like, I don't know when this episode came out. I was probably fucking early middle school. We talk, or maybe even elementary school. We were talking in school, like, dude, can you believe that, like, you can walk through glass like that? And, like, in the episode, we knew it was a prank, but what if it's real, dude? And because we believed this shit, because we were that stupid. When you're a kid, this type of shit doesn't seem as dumb as it does now.
That's not real.
It's real.
That's not real, dude. It's not even real.
It's no different than the Mentos in the 2-liter when it
That's
explodes.
real. I've heard of that.
It's the same thing.
It's not. You sound crazy right now. Not the same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. Okay.
No, you're gonna hit your face.
No, I'm not gonna hit my face.
Okay, watch.
I'm not.
Dude, your pipes froze? That's crazy, bro. I'm sorry that your fucking pipes froze and your water leaked. I'm glad you got it fixed, though. That happened to my grandma, dude. Her house was like, she got a water bill. It was like $200 fucking dollars, and she was like, "Why did this happen?" And then all of a sudden, she found out it was her. Well, pipes were leaking.
I hit my face. I'm telling you, forehead, thigh, walk right through it.
Okay, you're my friend. I want to stop this before it happens.
No,
you're gonna hit your...
You're my friend. Hey, Scotty, can you beam me up?
What you're gonna do? You're gonna buy the door if it works. How about that?
That's the deal.
Right.
I'm not worried about buying the door.
Right.
Because it's not gonna work.
Here we go. This is how easy it is. You just walk right into it.
No! I'm telling you. How did you do that?
I'm telling you.
It's not real, dude.
I'm telling you.
That's not real.
Yes.
Dude, no way, bro. No way, dude. That can't be real, bro. That can't be real. Dude, this is where you realize reality TV is all bullshit. Every single reality show you've ever watched is like this. They've just gotten better.
It's a known fact, man.
How'd you do that for real?
I'm telling you, it's a known
I didn't
thing.
even have the money for the door. I just agreed because I knew it wasn't gonna work.
Real stuff, man. Real stuff.
That's crazy.
Yo, hold on. Right here, dude. It says extreme risk of injury. Do not attempt. It's fucking fake. If anybody okay, kids might attempt it, whatever. But that was the clip that I showed my buddy, and it looked so bad. Yeah, the main waste pipe frozen for a whole week. So anytime I use water, it would leak in my basement or from the base of my toilet. Ooh, gross, dude. Foul ball. But yeah, dude, that was fucking ridiculousness. Now, Fantasy Factory, and the thing that's crazy is I'm guessing Robin Big was that way too, but there was something about Robin Big that felt special because I was like, I don't know, like 6, 7. I was like, oh, dude, you couldn't make videos? I'm sorry, dude. Well, I'm glad you got it fixed. But it's just so funny that, like, I remember Robin Big came out, right? And everybody knew that Rob Dyrdek was, like, a sellout or whatever. But it was like, oh, dude, Robin Big is kind of funny. It's clever. And the whole reason Robin Big even came about was because he was doing a skateboarding video. And he thought it'd be, they thought it'd be funny as if, what if instead of getting kicked out of the places, because that's how all skateboarding videos end, what if I have a bodyguard? And he's just like, Big is just bodying everybody, dude, just bodying everybody that tries to stop Rob Dyrdek from skateboarding. And it was kind of funny because he was like, oh, he's the one that's sold out, so obviously Rob Dyrdek's the guy that would get a bodyguard. It was like funny, and it was a play on his image or whatever. And then he got the TV show, which is just even. Oh, dude, well, thanks for letting me know, dude. I'm really glad that everything's okay and your life's going better and, like, there's no more leak, because leaks are fucking lame, and I'm glad that your life's doing good, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. But he had the show, and then, like, it was just kind of, like, cool, you know? It was just kind of a cool thing. And then Fantasy Factory happened. So I remember by the time Ridiculousness came out, you had reruns on MTV of Robin Big, you had Fantasy Factory, and you had Ridiculousness playing on a fucking loop, and the channel became the Rob Dyrdek channel. Like, it was pushing out, like, shit, like, because before that, you had, like, that weird show about, like fucking prepubescent girls getting fucking pregnant and shit. I don't remember what that was, like, 16 and pregnant or some shit. I don't know, dude. It was like fucking stupid. And then they're like, oh, dude, let's get a bunch of Jersey people to just be assholes with Jersey Shore. And then they were like, here's a bunch of Rob Dyrdek. They just shove so much Rob Dyrdek that you're choking, begging for air, but they just keep thrusting down your throat.
And then I also like Dan and Tosh. So I like both of them, and I watched both shows, but I mean, Tosh Porno is just better. Mainly because Daniel Tosh is a comedian, so he knows how to make the videos funny. Whereas Rob Dyrdek, he's a skater, an entrepreneur, and what he's great at is motivating people. And you can't really motivate someone to laugh.
Yeah, I don't. The reason that Ridiculousness outlasted Tosh was, one, Tosh kind of like hit its, like, Tosh was going into the era where nobody was allowed to, like, do edgy jokes anymore, and that is all of Tosh's humor. Rob Dyrdek never was edgy. His whole little panel was a bunch of fucking famous rappers and famous fucking whatever, and they would come on and they'd be like, oh wow, dude, they did the America's Funniest Home Video thing for a modern audience. That's all it was America's Funniest Home Videos for a modern audience, and that's why my fucking parents watch it. That's why when I'm in a hotel somewhere and I see it on, I'm like, man, why not? I mean, if I have to choose between Tosh and that, I'm gonna choose Tosh because he's funnier. But at the end of the day, the reason it lasted is because, like, your older audience wasn't going to watch Tosh. Tosh was too fucking edgy for that. I was watching Tosh.0 one time, and he was, like, going to different colleges, and he was, like, walking around college campus with a black light, and then all of a sudden, like, jizz flies across the room, and he catches it with his mouth, and there's just a dude jerking off in the closet. And that shit was funny to me, but my dad was walking by because he was, like, going to work or some shit, and he's like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. He was, like, actually pressed about it and was like, I can't believe you watched this, and, like, give me a little lecture. It wasn't, like, a bad lecture. I'm like, yeah, Dad, it's not for you. We can watch something else. And I put something else on. But that's what Tosh didn't have that appeal to different audiences like a Rob Dyrdek would. And that's why Rob's last so long, because it was fucking safe pussy shit.
They can be like, okay, you're gonna laugh at this clip now. Watch this person fall. Okay, there they go. They're gonna fall. They're falling. Oh, they fell. Wasn't that funny? No, that's not how you laugh at a clip, okay? Now, Daniel Tosh, he knows how to make stuff funny. Like, for example, when he has the round, what's it called? Oh yeah, Are You Racist? With that one guy.
Everybody knows dude, Are You Racist is one of the funniest shits ever. I can't show it because that clip, like, that other clip I found from, like, another channel, and it was, like, another thing, but, like, and this might even get me copyright claimed or whatever. I don't fucking care. But, like, I know Comedy Central will strike my ass. But the whole premise was Tosh had a bunch of fucking random words, and it wasn't even like he would show a clip that was like mildly could it be racist, and then he would spin off into a skit, or he would do something else. It was always like he would build on his own comedy. You use the videos to like jump into something else, something like Key and Peele. I remember one of the funniest skits he ever did, dude, was he decided to do like, because Key and Peele would do this like Obama. They would do like this Obama translator thing. They had Obama's fucking emotion translator. And then Daniel Tosh said he was going to be Obama. And he literally painted half of himself black. And he was just like, Obama, Obama. Because that shit was okay at that time period.
The one guy was showing off all his stuff. He was like, Benjamin, Franklin, none of them your friends. Whereas he doesn't know that Benjamin and Franklin are just the same person. And then Tosh's reply video was, you know, I got this, and then I have my college degree. See, he knows how to make stuff funny.
Dude, the way he fucking laid this out is so fucking, like... I mean, yeah, I'm streaming, so I'm kind of doing the same thing. But, like, this guy's cadence is so fucking bad, bro. I mean, this isn't a bad video. Like, it's very of its time. I mean, everybody's first videos look like this. But, damn, bro. This is, like, nostalgia tripping off my dick right now.
As Rob Dyrdek, he's a motivator. He doesn't really know how to make stuff funny. Cause
dude, I don't. This is like what's throwing me. Remember the t-shirts over long sleeves? Why did any of us think that was a fucking good idea? Why didn't anybody think a t-shirt over a long sleeve shirt was a fucking good idea? It's such a dumb look. I remember shirts used to come with the fucking sleeve hemmed into the t-shirt. I probably had one of those cocksuckers back in like 2009. And, like, the fact that he unironically bought this hat, like, I have some shitty hats like this that I bought, like, unironically to work outside in and, like, at my house. But, like, bro was like, this is gonna cook, dude. I'm gonna fucking put this on for the video. This is such a fucking 2000s vibe right here. Like, representing with the fucking Sesame Street crew.
that's not his job, really. And it's just a blatant ripoff. Like, I watched the first episode, and he was like, okay, now we have a segment called Guess What Happens Next? And it's the same thing. But see, what they do is, they'll show you part of the clip, then they'll go to commercial break, then they'll come back. So, yeah, both, I mean, I don't see ridiculousness really getting picked up for a season. Tosh.0, it's already,
Well, I mean, this video aged like fucking sour milk getting poured into your grandma's vagina. Ridiculousness, I think, is still going. I'm like almost positive it's still going. Bro was probably hella mad. You can tell he's like way more serious about this than anybody else was at the time.
third, fourth season. So, yeah, ridiculousness versus Tosh.0. I think we both know that Tosh.0 is the better show. Even if you're a fan of Rob Dyrdek, ridiculousness, it's more a family-friendly, started there, family-friendly show, whereas Tosh.0 is on Comedy Central, which it's supposed to be because it's a funny show. Okay, so this is just my little bit about ridiculousness versus Tosh.0. So you can leave your comments in the box below. Now, most of them probably will be hate comments. Why? I really don't know. So, yeah, and if you want to, you can subscribe.
Dude, by the way, you can always go down to the box below and leave a hate comment. I want you to leave a hate comment. I want you to tell me how fucking small my penis is. If you just leave a measurement down in the fucking comments, I'll understand what you're saying, big guy. I'll understand because I'm not a big guy. Micro Captain Super Small. I invert in the winter. Everyone thinks I have a vagina that has hanging balls from it. But, you know, leave an angry comment. Subscribe to my channel, you bitches. You fucking no-love, corner-sitting, slow-jerking, edging fools. We know you want to subscribe.
To my channel, and then you can follow me on Twitter and add me on the new Facebook, even though that Facebook's getting so commercial that I'm thinking of just, deleting it because I have.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. Facebook's getting so commercial, bro. Oh, dude, what a time jump. When did this come out, dude? 13 years ago, bro. Oh my god, dude. Oh. Hell, I like them both. 126 people love Ridiculous-ish. Tosh.0 all the way. Dude, 12 years ago. Dude, this video went hard. 50,000 views from World of Jizz, dude.
692 friends on there.
Who is this guy, dude? He is just some fucking random guy that like went into my feed because I looked up the beef between Tosh.0 and Ridiculousness because I was bored, and then somebody had brought up like Tosh.0, and then I like looked it up and listened to like the actual beef, which wasn't much of anything. I remember it happening back in the day. Tosh was like, dude, and help you get laid. I was in high school at the time, dude. Everybody had Facebook, dude. If you walked up to a girl, you would give them your Facebook, like how people did Snapchat later. I remember in like elementary school, like not elementary school, fuck, dude. I mean like middle school, early high school was when I was in that thing. You would like give a girl you would add them on Facebook, and then you would add each other on Facebook, and then you'd message on Facebook, dude. And then you get numbers later. But then it was Snapchat, and then Twitter was kind of, I remember Twitter was doing the same thing. People would message on Twitter a lot. But it was just like, that was the way you did it. And I think to this day, dude, asking for a Snapchat is still the safer way to go instead of just asking for a number because it's like less personal. But I was like looking into the drama because there was, at the time Rob Dyrdek came out and like made this whole like interview where he's like, yeah, dude, it just fucking popped into my head one day. I was sitting there chilling. Big was staring at me, stroking his cock, and I said, you know what would be crazy, dude? You know what would be fucking crazy? If I did a show where I reacted to internet clips. No one's done that before. And then he was like, oh, but then Tosh's show came out, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll do it later. But I actually had the idea first. And so Tosh like roasted him. He had like a whole skit where it was like it wasn't the Fantasy Factory, but it was like the Imagination Factory. And there was just a bunch of kids like a bunch of like fucking teenage boys skateboarding with no shirts on because he's like, I just like having kids skate with no shirts on. It was like fucking making Rob Dyrdek, like the joke was Rob Dyrdek liked young boys. It was like such a savage fucking roast. It was one of the greatest things ever, dude. And that was like the end of the beef. Fucking Rob Dyrdek, I think, talked about it on Larry King. And it was like, yeah, dude, it kind of went out of hand. I was kind of a dick. And he's like, I'm Rob Dyrdek. I fucking will say whatever is need to be said to make me look cool. And Tosh literally just was like, you like young boys.
And I talked to about 5 of them, maybe. So, yeah, that was the video. Oh, yeah, one last thing. I'm going to show you some of this new hat that I got here. It's the Ash Ketchum hat. Now,
dude, he's got that fucking Ash Ketchum, gotta catch them all hat. Dude, he goes down to South Central and he tries to catch them all as hard as possible. And he's praying for that big black dick.
Some of the reasons I got it was 1, I mean, it's pretty badass. And 2, so I can do this. Come on, who hasn't wanted to do that? Alright.
I've never in my life wanted to do that. Never, like, I mean, I do that with a regular hat, but I've never thought, I'm gonna go get a fucking Pokemon hat. I've never was that much into Pokemon. I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards somewhere from, like, because it's, like, a game that I can play. But, like, I never understood those people who collected, like, the fucking Pokemon cards, because it's, like, it's not the same as Pokemon. Like, at least with Yu-Gi-Oh for me when I was a kid, I was like, oh, yeah, it's a game, and I can play the game, and then I feel like them. And then I remember Pokemon is like, what am I going to go down the street and fucking kidnap my neighbor's Chihuahua? And then have it fight other Chihuahuas? No, that makes me Mike Vick, bro. I can't be doing that. That's no bueno. But that's it.
That's all.
Oh, God, dude. Did you see? Dude, look at this fucking outro, bro. Dude, YouTube was fucking wild 13 years ago, dude. And this isn't even that wild of content. This is like normal dude does content on YouTube. Like, let's look at his channel, right? World of Jizz, dude. He released Giving King of the Hill a soft reboot. Like, dude was still 7 months ago. He's still making videos. 2 days ago, Star-Lord. He's still making videos, bro. He's still grinding. I fixed Twisted Metal. Dude's been doing this for 13 fucking years. And he has this many videos. Holy shit. Only 126 videos. So what does he do? Like, delete a bunch of his shit? Or... Oh, no, he stopped making YouTube videos for a long time. So there is 7 years ago. 5 years ago. 4. And then he came back 2 years ago and started again. It looked like he's taking some breaks here and there. What is he even doing now, bro?
I don't tip when I deliver food. Let me show you why. When the delivery driver arrives, you'll be greeted by my cat, followed by a sign of where to go. Then I have a set of instructions that they must follow. But I guarantee you the reward at the end is something. First, they have to disinfect it with the Lysol wipes that I have provided.
What the fuck is this?
Once it's nice and clean, then they have to use the holy water that I have provided to bless it and keep the demons away. Then they have to put it in this black bag that I have provided. Then roll it up in this towel that I've also provided.
Dude, what the fuck is this? Like, I get this is supposed to be a skip, but this is weird as fuck. It's so long, too. Is it a dildo? Does he get a dildo?
After, when they're ready, so I will report them. Upon leaving, they are compensated for their time by choosing any one item from this table, whether it be the Madam Web movie poster or the...
What the fuck is this, dude? What? This is weird, dude. Comment and like. That was wild. But yeah, dude, that guy's been around since the beginning. Since the beginning of fucking time. Since the beginning of fucking Earth itself, that dude's been making YouTube videos. But yeah, that's it, dude. That's Tosh versus fucking ridiculousness. A battle that has been long decided and long over. But I felt you all needed to see it. Y'all needed to see it. Dude, Facebook with the exclusive invites were so fucking wild, dude. It used to be, like, it was so wild. Our next video we got here, guys, well, what we're going to go into. What we're going to go into is South of Midnight community manager attacks gamers, claims she's disgusted and hates all of you. Which, to be honest, I don't blame her. And here's the thing. I might be as annoyed with all this woke shit as anybody. It fucking drives me nuts inside. But to be honest, what we've seen of South of Midnight isn't even that bad. Like, it doesn't even look like that bad. It looks like it's just a fucking game where you play as a black chick fucking in the South. It's like, oh, dude, we're going off of this blues thing. It's like a culture. It looks like it's cultural, I guess. It makes sense that it's like that. It's so dumb that this is a drama. We're gonna see what happened, and then I'll put my judgment. But I'm not gonna lie. Once they showed her picture, like what the chick looked like, and everybody's like, oh, she's so ugly. I'm like, it's an art style, bro. What the fuck's your problem? It's an art style. That's like going to fucking. That's like going onto what's that? Psychonauts. That's like going to Psychonauts and saying the women in Psychonauts look ugly. It's like, dude, you just don't like the art style. That's fine. I don't know. I don't understand the hate behind this one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about Compulsion Games' upcoming video game called South of Midnight. Now, this particular video game is getting advertised pretty heavily right now, and I'm assuming that's because they're coming close to release time. And this is the video game that all the DEI shills are trying to virtue signal with. This is the one that they're trying to say, oh, the chuds are angry because this game looks amazing.
It does. It does look amazing. I don't understand why you'd be mad. This game looks fucking good. It does. It looks good. It looks really fun. It looks artistically sound. You know how annoyed I am with modern gaming, how everything's got to be McGraphics. And then you see a game that comes out with a really cool looking art style and it's like, "Oh, they're trying to do something different. Wow, let's hate on it because there's a black chick in it." That's stupid, dude. Like, I get it that the fucking annoying leftists on Twitter that are trying to hype this shit up to try to own the chuds are annoying as fuck, but also buying into it and hating it just because they like it is such a dumb thing to do.
Game looks great. They're just mad because there's a black female in it, blah blah blah. Well, apparently now we have some posts that are resurfacing, and rightfully so, to remind everybody what kind of a developer Compulsion Games actually is, and what some of the people who work there regarding their game South of Midnight, what some of them have done online, and their viewpoints on not just people in general but gamers as a whole.
Ever since I was little, I kind of knew that I wasn't the ideal skin tone for the world. I'm African American, and I'm not just,
This is fucking mad cringe. This is stupid. Why you would ever, like, willfully do this and then put this online? Like, if you're saying this, you're like, everything about me is determined by my race, and that's dumb. It's dumb. Do your shit, fucking get into it, and then just fucking do cool shit, and nobody will fucking care. Like, people should judge people on their qualities and not on their racial skin color. Like I get, like, if you hate on somebody's culture, that's fucking cringe. Like, if you're like, oh, everybody's got to be the same, I don't, like, that's dumb. Like, if you're trying to read that and put that in my mouth, well, we got to talk about cultural differences. Like, yeah, that's fucking different. I'm talking about, like, actually qualities of the person and their skill into things. If you're fucking skilled and you have, like, good ideas, like, those good ideas should, like, put you up into the universe because you're fucking solid. But if you base everything off of your skin color and that's all you see, all you're gonna see around you is racism. Like, so this shit already is cringe me the fuck out.
Typical African American, I am extremely dark, and it's always somewhat been a problem.
Getting 8 ads every 20.
But I mean, like I get that you can have struggles in life, right? But you should use those struggles to make you stronger. And, like, even if people, like, fucking, like, are dicks to you, like, let's say somebody sees me and they're like, you're a fucking Tubby McTubberson. If I become so successful that it doesn't matter anymore, I won't fucking care, dude. It's like, you can call me Fat McFucking Jumbo Titties and Micro Penis McGee, but I will not care because the most important thing is what I'm doing. You know, I'm working, I go to work, I come and then I stream, and then I fucking post shit online constantly. I'm grinding, trying to get there. I'm trying to make myself better, trying to make myself, like, rise above. And I'm not relying on my fucking attributes and saying, well, I'm this way, or did you know I'm a little native, so it was hard for me growing up because of this. No, dude, you don't fucking, it's stupid to do that shit. It's stupid. I just, like taking your time to make this because you're just like, oh, I struggle because I'm, like, as soon as I hear people talk about race, it annoys the fuck out of me.
It's always somewhat been a problem.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I have this video playing on screen because this video is the one that they used to advertise the game recently. They did it on December 28th, 2024. And this particular video
So wait. Here's the thing I need to know. What that video here, that fucking video of the girl, was that something a dev put out? Or, sorry, I'm yelling into the mic. Or was that just like, was that just a fucking random thing of annoying cringe that you threw up? Because that's, like, context that's needed. If that was like a fucking developer putting that out to show, like, hey, look how special I am because I made it as a developer and I'm black. Like, that's cringe as fuck. But, like, if it's just a random clip you threw in, you're kind of a douchebag.
Showcases to me, not amazing gameplay. It actually looks pretty damn buggy, to be honest with you, because you can see the enemy here kind of twitching out, and I thought to myself, okay.
Oh, dude, way to be a fucking douche. Way to be a fucking loser, bro. Here we go, dude. Here we fucking go. Here's where we get fucking nitpick. This is like what PlayStation fucking fanboys and Xbox fanboys do when a game comes out that's on my other plastic box, bro. They're like, my other plastic box is fucking lame. Did you see there was, you can clip through the map in Spider-Man? I'm like, yeah, but did you enjoy the game? They're like, I didn't play it because it's on my fucking PlayStation. And then the other thing happens where it's like fucking Halo, and they're like, oh, did you see you can get that gun from the top of the thing, and you're not supposed to get that gun? It's a giant bug. It's basically game breaking, and it's like, nah, it makes the game a little better. Well, it's fucking lame. This is fucking nitpicky to be nitpicky just because you already hate it. I saw a video, and this is like a tangent, but I saw a video on there's one video that talks about the Zoom platform Postal 3, and the dude just goes into the fucking video with so much malice that he's honestly wrong about a bunch of shit because he had preconceived notions. You're going in with preconceived notions that you're already going to hate this game because you're so caught up in all this diversity shit that you're not willing to look at the game that maybe it's like, it's instead of just being black for the sake of being black, it's like culturally. Like, there can be a difference, and if it's written well enough and it's based off of, like, blues music and, like, off of, like, that culture that is super cool, like fucking Black Snake Moan type shit, this could be a really cool game. Like, dive into, like, the hoodoo voodoo type shit, and it looks cool, dude. It looks fucking sick, but you're over here mad because you want to be mad.
Hey, well, maybe the main protagonist froze that enemy, but for some reason, then the second enemy just completely disappears and doesn't ever attack the main character. It's a very odd thing. There's nothing showcased here that says that this character stun locked permanently, killed the other enemy or whatever. It looks like the AI is bugging out, in my opinion.
Dude, no, it's literally the attack. It's like reacting to the attacks, and they're like all jittery like that because they're like fucking... They're fucking like demons or something, so it's like jittery to look jittery on purpose. Everything looks jittery in it because it's trying to look like stop motion claymation, you dipshit.
And on top of that too, the animation for this looks very, very subpar, mainly because of their use of stop motion animation, which is something they're going with in this video game that I am not a big...
Then that's your problem with it. Like, you literally know why it looks this way. So you fucking did all this other shit like glitches and all this shitty speculation, which you have no proof of whatsoever. And then you come in and you're like, well, no, maybe because they're doing the stop motion thing. That's it. That's exactly why it is. They're going for a stylistic choice that you don't like. So it's not a game for you. Fucking move on.
Big fan of in video games. Movies is something different, but video games, not really a fan. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, we got a post here from Kyle. Shout out to you, man. He says, Compulsion Games hate gamers and seeks to rewrite history as hard as they want to redefine racism. They know where to shove their mandatory DEI sweet baby in game. If highlighting their own words makes me anti-woke, oh no, LOL. Now, again, really quick, this game does have SBI's involvement. That's number one. We showcase the entire history of this game, where somebody over at this particular studio decided to leak the fact that this game was going to be a white female-led game, and then once SBI was hired, it ended up being changed to a black female-led game. That's just something that we talked about for many times over the last few months.
All right. Here's how I'm gonna look it up. Was south of midnight. Here we go. The Rolling Stones. So this is gonna be a gush piece. We're gonna see. Fuck off, dude. Like, it just looks like southern fucking shit. Like, you got the blues musician. You got all this cool shit. Like, it would make sense to have a black lead in this. I'm not reading all that. I need to find, like... Here we go. Here's, like, a fucking article that's, like... Obviously baited toward the fucking, anti-woke shit. Compulsion Games ones. 10% of the original team remains. If we're getting this from fucking update, more devs coming out. Let's check this out. I'm not signed into my Twitter, but the community manager's project saying that she still has gamers, has a problem with Asian and white people. Main character was race swapped and sort of okay, but like, where's the proof? Like, is this for sure, or where did you get this? Where are your sources, Grums? Where's your sources here? Because I don't. Getting the videos at the midnight. We share our experience in South. Why the South matters. I don't. Getting video games in the South, and here's why more gaming than the coasts. So it's just talking about how they're in this. What? This is like nothing. This is a bunch of fucking nothing, dude. South of Midnight is a spellbinding third-person action game set in the American Deep South. Learn an ancient weaving power to explore the Deep South mythos and confront mysteries, creatures, and folktale in for modern times. Oh, so it says modern times. So, oh. Dude, like, and We Happy Few was kind of a mid-game. It doesn't, I don't know where this screenshot came from. So I don't know if this is true or not. Like, where did you get this? If we're... Like, if Grums is the only guy I have to go on, I don't have a lot of faith in this whole argument because Grums is a fucking clown. He's like David Jaffe, bro. Literally nothing he says is going to sway me either way because he's a fucking grifter.
And then on top of that, too, we also on Hypnocast watched a documentary from Compulsion Games where they were going over this video game and talking about it, and not once did they ever showcase gameplay. And not once did they ever actually talk about gameplay. All they did was talk about identity politics and history. Now,
yeah, dude, that is really annoying. But like, there is a history. Like, there is culturally a bunch of stuff that with like the black community in the South, and what it looks like is it's diving into the blues kind of mythos, like fucking crossroads demon, all that cool shit, like that hoodoo voodoo world. And if you're gonna do that, that's cool, and I would love to see something like that. So I don't know if this is actually gonna be a game that fucking lectures me or just like shows me a cool world with like some representation, which is fine. I'm like actually in, like, if you could provide some evidence here, that'd be great.
History thing I totally get because it's a game that's based in the actual South and they're trying to showcase real history, but unfortunately they're not going to do that, right?
It's a fucking fantasy world. Why would they showcase real history? What, you think that motherfucker actually sold his soul to the devil on the crossroads? No.
They're going to showcase history through their eyes, the way that they want to see it, the way that they want to remember history, not the way that it actually happened, which is unfortunate. But we have some screenshots here from Katie Pikachulita, which we've done videos on before, but let's just give a little bit of a reminder because a lot of people probably don't know about this. But Pikachulita says, honestly, I hate gamers. And then you see her profile here.
So this is fucking bad. This is bad. We also need to be very honest about the elephant in the room. The majority of perpetrators are white and white adjacent cis men. Racist as fucking post. That's just fucking racist. To like clarify that anybody who disagrees with you, the sheer level of scum-sucking filth that permeates the gaming community is abhorrent. This is dumb. I gotta ask, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is dumb. What's wrong with people is because you're out here fucking villainizing everybody, which makes nobody want to fucking play your game, because this is the type of shit, this right here is the type of shit that will fucking definitely make me not want to play your game. It makes me like feel like you're fucking obviously targeting against people you don't like.
Here, she, her, bi, pan, femme, history alumni, with changemaker, DEI consultant, community manager at Compulsion Games. Now, she got her name thrown around back when all of the community managers were getting roasted for doing nonsense like this, and this is why these games get bad reputations. This is why these games get bad press, because it'll take one person to ruin it for everybody anybody else. And they let these people continue to do that because they don't want to cross the line into racism. They view that, okay, if you criticize Pika, whatever her name is, if you criticize her, then that automatically makes you racist, misogynistic, a bigot, whatever. And these people are...
And anybody who says that when you criticize somebody, you're a bigot just for criticizing them is fucking retarded. They are honestly fucking retarded. And it's kind of why I also kind of push back so hard against guys like him as well. Is it's like, because there's a lot of times where I see people jump on this bandwagon because they're like, oh, it's instantly going to be this. It's instant. And they don't wait for the game to come out. I mean, one prime example was a lot of people like him and Andy Vance Gaming were out here fucking saying that Indiana Jones was going to be the wokest shit ever. And then it wasn't. And they all just kind of brush it under the rug. And the left does it all the time too. When it's like, something comes out and it's like, oh, well, all these guys, and then it ends up being a fucking disaster and failing. Then they get like IGN to write an article about why it fucking deserved to be better. It happened with Concord, it happened with Dragon Age Veilguard, it happened with the Immortals of Avion, and I hate that shit too. But to blanketly go into something, it really bothers me. And I also hate developers who think that like coming out here and fucking hating on the people. Like, who the fuck do you think's gonna buy your game, dude? Who the fuck do you think's gonna buy your game when you have this much vitriol toward the people that are your fucking consumer base? Like, this is the type of shit that will get your fucking studio shut down. And then people will be like, remember when they made this and how good of a studio they were? And then they feel bad. It's like, well, yeah, dude. But then they came out and shit on everybody who was about to buy their game. And then they took their buyer base from here to all the way down here to like fucking 3 people on Twitter who don't fucking actually play games. Like the 3 people that are more interested in politics than actually gaming.
Scared of being called words that have no meanings anymore. Anyway, she says, we also need to be very honest about the elephant in the room. The majority of the perpetrators are white adjacent, cis, hetero men. Katie then says that she quote tweeted the sheer level of scum-sucking filth that permeates the gaming community.
One of the biggest...
Like, that's just such a vicious statement. Wait. That's such a fucking vicious statement to say, just to call, like to be out here just so mad and having so much vitriol that you literally just can't even fucking process shit is so fucking cringe to me. To just scum-sucking filth. Like, to be so angry. And I get being mad, right? If you saw, like, it's like, wow, just because we made our like, if she would have came out and said, like, I'm going to be very honest. We have not put anything out there other than gameplay, a little bit of blues music, and showed that our main protagonist is black. You have nothing you know nothing about our character, and yet you guys are calling this a woke game. To me, I would be like, oh, yeah, dude, I get the point. You don't have to go any deeper than that. You just could say, like, we have shown nothing but this. You have not seen the story of our game. Please wait until release, and you will see it's more than what you think it is. Like, say that we wrote something beautiful here, or like stand by it, you know. But just to come out and like with this vitriol is just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
Pika, whatever her meanings anymore, and sucking filth that permeates the gaming community is abhorrent. I'm disgusted to even have an interest with so many terrible people. Then she says, I gotta ask, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Again, having a complete and utter meltdown, not even just a little while ago. And then you have here a post from Compulsion Games talking about what they plan to do with this game South of Midnight. If you look, there's a top post here that says many people or many video games are the product and look to recreate and remaster these stories, and important to reconsider the implications. Our part to rewrite history, not repeat it. We applaud our peers. Okay, that was the original post. They edited this post into this here, what you see. It says many video games are a product of the times they were created in. As we look to recreate and remaster these stories for modern audiences, it's important to consider the implications of these harmful portrayals, and part to rewrite new history, not repeat it. Now, if you look, they edited this, okay? They went from we're going to rewrite history to we're going to rewrite new history. They had to change it because their agenda got a little bit too exposed, let's just say. They were a little bit too honest in the first post. So they re-edited it and they put new history in there. That way nobody can come after them for wanting to actually rewrite history.
Dude, this type of shit is why companies should not virtue signal on Twitter either. You have somebody on your thing that thinks, okay, I'm gonna utilize this platform to try to like grab the audience that we think we want, which you don't realize that a majority of people do not give a fuck about this type of stuff, like these identity politics. So you're virtue signaling to people who aren't gonna buy your game. The goal should be, if you're gonna put stuff in the game that's like that is like you kind of have like this modern view of stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I think there's issues that need to be addressed. Maybe just write a great character, and that's super important to me. I really do hate. I hate it with like a passion, just as much as I hate virtue signaling being lectured to. I hate just as much when somebody sees this picture and then posts the clip from the fucking reveal of this and say, look how ugly this character is, and look, they're trying to be woke. This isn't that ugly of a character. In fact, I think she's kind of pretty, especially with the art style and everything. So right away, I noticed people were trying to attack this, and then when they found out there was attached, like Valve has the same fucking thing here, dude. EA, all of them, like every big publisher is on this fucking thing. So like, it's like every game that comes out basically from a AAA studio now has the stigma of it, and maybe they're getting away from it. It would be nice to see the actual game first, and I know it's not out yet, so we can't make that judgment. But I feel like there's a lot of fucking instant anger, and I hate it. I really hate it. It's like, dude, I hope this game isn't preachy. I really do. I hope they just craft a good story, and it's not sitting here lecturing me on like there isn't a white character that's the ultimate evil. That would be the fucking worst. But and that, because all that does is strike diversion. That was like when I was playing Immortals Baby on, the big bad white guy at the end of the game was like this fucking, oh, he's the fascist white guy. And that's like his whole character dynamic. And then it was kind of dumb. And I was like, this is whatever, dude. I don't fucking care anymore, you know? And this is like, I want to see this game be good because I love like blues music and shit. But you don't, the goal should never be to demean another race to make your race better. You should just like show how cool you fucking are.
History, which is what we know they want to do, right? It's pretty obvious. If you watch the documentary based on Compulsion Games, you'll realize very quickly that these people absolutely want to rewrite history. They want to be activists and completely change everything that has happened in the South. They don't want to admit that any of it is true. And this is why they never learn from history, because they're too busy trying to run from it or hide it. Then it looks here, Tomb Raider actually retweeted this. And it says, Crystal Dynamics has condemned the depictions of people in the cultures, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about the trigger warning, right? The trigger warning that was in the recent Tomb Raider game. Well, apparently Compulsion Games loves trigger warnings. It says, we applaud our peers at Crystal Dynamics for their reflections and corrections. Okay.
This is fucking lame. I hate trigger warnings. I think it's the fucking cringiest thing ever. Like, dude, fuck off with your shit, dude. It's so fucking pathetic. It's like we're adding ratings on top of ratings. So we already have a rating system, but they're like, oh, well, this old shit had Kermit the Frog smoking a cigarette or some shit, so we need to put a trigger warning that there's smoking in this, or some of the jokes might be a little too edgy, so we need to desensitize everything. All this does to me is fucking, it's so fucking awful. I fucking hate it so much, dude. It's such pussy shit. Like, this is why we have like so many people so soft out here, and that's my biggest problem is like both sides of this fucking argument can't take any criticism. They can't take any criticism because it just fucking comes off as so soft to me, and it's because we've been growing up in the last like 20 years with fucking desensitization.
Now keep in mind, if you see here on the bottom right of this screenshot, when you look at the actual list that Sweet Baby Inc. would work with before they took it off their website and tried to hide it because they don't like transparency, one of the people that was on this list was Compulsion Games. So SBI absolutely has infected this game. Do not get it twisted. For those of you who didn't know, well, now you know. And then Kyle shouted this out as well back in February 15th. Compulsion and Sweet Baby Inc. proudly proclaim their prioritization of the mythical modern audience. So they're going to be constantly chasing this modern audience in the hope they can make some money. And this was from a tweet from Spanish JT. The people making games like this are the opposite of talented and get angry at you when you tell the truth. What it quite frankly is that they have a good thing going. Or I should say they had a good thing going for a long time, right? You're talking about almost 10 years of this nonsense that this has been happening.
Dude, this game looks fucking fun, dude. I know that and I think that's why I'm so defensive, and I'm also kind of coming off, is because when I saw the gameplay reveal for this game looks fucking cool. I love the art style. I love what they're doing with, with blues music, and I want to reserve judgment until the game comes out and not jump the gun and call it woke fucking shit just because, like, oh, it might be attached to Sweet Baby Inc. and like this. It's like if Valve dropped Half-Life 3 tomorrow, you think that we're gonna, or like, you think we're like, if they revealed Half-Life 3 tomorrow, you think we're gonna have a bunch of people fucking calling it woke garbage? No, dude. But because it's compulsion and they have a black female lead, well, here we are. I mean, if Valve dropped a fucking Half-Life 3 and it was starring just a girl, I think people would do the same thing. But it comes off to me as just, you're pandering right now. You're pandering to the right, and you're looking for shit to be mad at, and you found it, and because honestly, that community fucking leader should be fired. She should lose her fucking job. Plain and simple. If you're out here, if I were to come out here and I'm working on a game, right? I'm working on a game and I say all leftists are fucking like satanic pedophiles that eat fucking children, like, I should be fired because I took and looked at a portion of our buyer base and called them fucking satanic pedophiles. Like, if I do something like that, should mean my fucking job. So to take anybody, to generalize people like that and then do it, you should lose your fucking job. I'm sorry. And I don't understand why Microsoft and these companies are just willing to, like, lose money, because this is not looking good for them. If I was Adela, what's his name? Adela, something Adela, the owner, or like the CEO of Microsoft, I would call Phil Spencer and say, fire that bitch. It would be a simple phone call, and then Phil Spencer would have to make the tough phone call to Compulsion Games, say, hey, you had this girl doing stuff on Twitter, she's gone. And they're like, well, we can't. No, she's gone.
With a recent ramp up, more so in the last few years, they don't like the fact that YouTubers are affecting their bottom dollar. They don't like the fact that YouTubers are affecting their views. They don't like the fact that their channels are unsuccessful and our channels are booming. They don't
see this is, and to me, what I just said isn't because of YouTubers. This isn't because I came out here and said that woke shit is garbage, because, like, again, it's garbage. It's annoying. Nobody likes to be fucking lectured. The problem is, if you have somebody on your fucking team that's going out there and shitting on your buyer base, you're fucking hurting the product that a lot of people at that studio worked really hard on, and then you're jeopardizing their positions because a big company that owns you, or like your team, even if you're at a smaller team and nobody buys your game, that smaller team can't fucking exist with no money. So you just fucking took half of your fucking buyer base, called them fucking scum suckers, more than half, because she just kind of generalized it at gamers, and said, wow, don't buy my fucking game because you're a piece of shit. Once you do that, you have hurt your studio. You've jeopardized everybody's job. You are the monster. You are your own villain, and that's how this should be looked at. Because, like, YouTubers gonna call this shit out and stuff, and like, yeah, it does have an effect. But the fact that they put it up publicly on their own Twitter makes them their own problem.
like it. They absolutely hate it. So when they see people like Smash JT make a post, when they see people like me make a post, when they see people like Kyle make a post, they do everything they can to try to fill it with as much of their hate as they possibly can. Because ultimately, this is what it comes down to. Hatred, envy, which is a huge part of it, and overall jealousy that they have for our particular channels. So again, guys, South of Midnight is going to be one of those games. Who knows? It might end up being good. Who knows? We have absolutely no idea. But
I'm glad he put that in there. A lot of these guys would not have put that in there, and I might be judging him pretty harsh. I've never really watched Hypnotic's content, so I might be being a little bit of an asshole, but just because I have this bias of just hating all of this fucking grift shit. But at the end of the day, I just think that we've gotten to a point where we are we're hardcore knee-jerk reacting to all of this shit just because we see one thing. And because there's going to be this mindset going in, well, now we're not only alienating like developers and like gaming in general, we're going into to everything with malintentions or maleficent. Fucking, we're angry for no reason, and we're going in with malice. Thank you, malice. We're going in with malice, and it's just, I think it's a toxic mindset to be in, and I don't think you should be like, oh, consume just to consume. Look, like if this trailer were to come out and then be like, God, the fucking whitey, dude. And I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm done. I'm not about that. But so far, I haven't seen anything with South of Midnight that's like been that bad. I mean, we can watch right here. Let's go right here, dude. South of Midnight, dude. Find something from Compulsion Games. That was a year ago. 7 months ago, right here.
Do you think there's a chance my mom's still alive?
If your mom's anything like you have, she'll keep fighting till we find her.
I hope so. It's just hard to believe this is all really happening.
You mean to tell me your mama never told you stories about critters and weavers? Oh, you're lucky I come along.
What?
Shh. Oh, that's two-toed Tom. Big gator. I gotta drop you off fast.
After I got you out of that tree, you said you helped me find my mama.
I ain't of a disposition to be gator snacks.
Well, me neither.
If we're gonna go on, we gotta get rid of him.
I'm all ears.
There's a church up a ways with a big bell. Go on and ring it.
You want to make him come running?
Tom can't abide the sound of bell. Some church folks once tried to dynamite him, and he didn't take that too kind. If you ring that bell, he might skedaddle.
You better not skedaddle.
Go on now, scoot. I'll pick you up yonder after to go find your mom.
Trifling ass mudcat.
Hey, I heard that.
Dude, I like this so far, dude. This looks so good. Like this reminds me of like fuck, dude. It's like there's fucking that movie with The Princess and the Frog. This reminds me of The Princess and the Frog, and I fucking love that movie. And I love this art style. I know you don't like a lot of people don't like this jittery shit, but I love it, dude.
Yeah. Wait, that floating island is the gator? Oh, hell no.
And the combat doesn't look bad in this either. It's like almost like everything's got this jitter, but it seems like you can time to it pretty fucking easily. I don't.
All right, time to find that church.
Dude, I love when you kill an enemy, it like brightens up the world. This is cool. It's like, because like it has like Souls-like combat, right? It's very generic Souls-like or like hack and slash combat. But the thing that's like different about this that I'm already what like hooked me right away was the fact that when you actually clear like in the enemy area, it like brightens up the world. Like you're fixing the world from the darkness.
There it is. Now to get over there.
This is fucking a Mitch charm. I don't know what to tell you guys. Dude, this looks cool, dude. I don't know. Dude, it might be a fucking woke mess or whatever, dude, but I think it looks fucking good. So I don't really know all the drama behind it. Like, I know I saw some of it, but like I hope that like the community manager is just talking out of her ass and being a douchebag and she loses her job. I really do hope she loses her job. That's bad, dude. It's like why would you do this to your own game? Why would you fucking go out of your way to be such a vicious fucking person that you would hurt the chances of your own game that so many people worked hard on? That looks fucking dope, dude. This game looks fucking dope. I really wanted to play it. And I still really kind of want to play it. I mean, I don't want to let these people influence. I don't want to let anybody influence me. If I see somebody's like, oh, this game's like, they're like, don't play Postal because it's racist, and I'm like, oh, no, dude, I'm gonna play Postal because it looks funny, and I'm gonna play Postal. And if I hear somebody like, oh, don't play this because it might be woke, I'm like, I want to see for myself. I want to get my own fucking opinions. And then sometimes I end up playing a game like Immortals of Avion and it's fucking garbage and bullshit and nothing's good about it. But at the end of the day, I'm making my own decision. I think that's super important that everybody needs to do that. And that's basically all I had on that one. This is cool. This is something cool that I actually saw recently. Destin has been with IGN for a very long time. Destin is a creator that's been around for a very long time. He's now kind of been like more Xbox oriented than he has in the past. He really kind of got that way during the Activision merger, which he was right in a lot of his regard that the Activision merger, anybody who's calling that shit a fucking monopoly is so dumb and doesn't understand how anything works. Because, like, how can you be a monopoly when you're, like, 4th or 5th in the entire gaming industry? And that's kind of where Microsoft was sitting at. And I don't know, dude. I honestly really liked when the court said that you had to keep it, keep everything multi-platform. And I think if studios in the future, if PlayStation or Nintendo buy shit, they should be held to the same standard where they have to make everything fucking third party, because we need to move away from this very toxic anti-consumer policy of being the exclusivity is anti-consumer. It always has been, always will be. But I saw that he quit IGN, and I'm curious onto why.
After 13 years at IGN, I quit my dream job. IGN was an unforgettable experience I will always cherish. I got to see the world, make friends, and build a body of work I'm proud of. With nearly 1 billion views generated for the IGN brand, though, it's time to bet on myself. Starting today, I'm building my own independent contribution to the video game industry focused on meaningful conversations, asking tough questions, and doing my best to find and report the truth. When I started covering games in 2007, I promised myself I'd ask the important questions, explore overlooked angles, and shine a light on topics that needed attention. I also vowed to use any influence I gained to advocate for you, the player. That's what games media should do. Advocate and ask questions on your behalf. That's what I did at IGN, and it's what I'll keep doing. Yes, I will still tell terrible jokes from time to time, though. I'm sorry. Look, when Danny O'Dwyer launched the amazing No Clip in 2016, he said gamers deserve media that reflects their passions. My thought is that gamers deserve media that represent them. And my goal is to help bring us closer to making that a reality. So here's...
Yeah, I don't really think he's the guy to do it, though, because here's the problem, and he might clarify this here in a second. I just wanted to pause and actually, kind of give my 2 cents. IGN is one of the worst sites in gaming. It's just bad. It's bad. There's nothing good about it. It gives games like fucking Dragon Age the Veilguard and Avowed high scores, and then fucking plays cheerleader for them when they fail because they're garbage and they're not well written. And then when a game that comes out, like I heard Wukong was incredible, but yet it sits at a mid rating, or even a game that I really liked, Congrave Gore, which I thought was is it a fucking masterpiece? No, but it deserved at least a 7 out of 10, 8 out of a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, and it's sitting at a 4 from IGN. It's like they have a bias, and anything that's too gritty or too fucking raw, they rate low. But anything that hits these fucking certain boxes, and this is where I actually get mad with the the whole woke media thing. This is where I actually get mad. Now, I've covered in the past and recently or whatever, where I will sit from the perspective where I think the anti-woke guys go a little bit fucking too far, and they seem to have like this idea that, oh, just because of this is this way, I'm going to make a knee-jerk reaction, and that knee-jerk reaction a lot of times is fucking annoying. I think that you should wait until you have the actual product. My problem is when the product releases and it's garbage and there's reasons that people didn't buy it, that then the mainstream media and gaming shows up and white knights for it. Like, I don't understand why this failed. How could this fucking happen? What? How could this happen? No one fucking knows. Yeah, everybody fucking knows. Everybody knows why Concord failed, because it had boring ass fucking character design. Everybody fucking knows why Immortals of Avion died, because it was just trying to do everything that everybody else did, but in a really fucking boring way. And then, oh look, racism is the main talking point. Oh, everybody knows why Dragon Age Veilguard failed, because there's literally a clip where a motherfucker is doing push-ups for misgendering. It's like you're spitting in the face of a bunch of your fucking consumer base and then lecturing on them on why they're fucking stupid, and then the industry comes in to say, we don't get it. Well, yeah, dude, it's fucking retarded, and it's disingenuous, and like he just said, the truth is a lot of times very, very fucking simple, but you're not willing to talk about it because you're scared that it's going to make you look bad on Twitter.
Here's my pitch. I'm starting a Patreon. If you enjoyed my interviews, coverage, and commentary, this is your chance to get even more. Early access to content, behind-the-scenes insights, and an opportunity to shape the discussions held by submitting questions for upcoming guests. With your help, I can do this independently while continuing to advocate for you. And I think of each video like a save state in a game. That's why I'm calling it Save State Plus, a captured moment we can reflect on to better inform where we are going. Speaking of what's ahead, Phil Spencer was one of the first to accept a one-on-one conversation to discuss his corner of the industry as the head of Xbox. We'll be chatting in the near future, and even if I get a no comment, you know I'm going to ask about the Xbox handheld, what their next-gen hardware looks like, and the tumultuous state of the industry, as well as other questions.
Dude, well, here's the question. People who get these opportunities to sit down with people like Phil Spencer should ask about the DEI bullshit, and like maybe not position it as DEI bullshit, but ask like what does you as a company have to say about a lot of these conversations going on about forced politics into gaming, forced dialogue. What are you doing to maybe combat this? Maybe reel it back in. What are you doing when you had a community manager under your wing recently called gamers the scum of the earth or some shit? What are you doing to like kind of rectify these situations to build a less toxic bridge between your developers and your fans? What are you doing to provide like a better like roadblock ahead? These are questions that need to be asked by like people like him, like this guy right here who have the opportunities to sit down with people like this. Like even like ask Phil Spencer, like any of these type of questions would be way more beneficial than just like doing the same fucking sugar-coated bullshit that we always get.
You want answered. The interview will be available first on Patreon and shortly after on YouTube.
And the biggest problem too, on top of this, the biggest thing that I know why they don't do this is so they get that sit down again. So they can sit down with him again instead of being the guy that was actually there that was willing to ask the questions.
Phil Spencer has always been open in our chats, and I'm excited to speak with him again. Beyond interviews, I want to build a brand that celebrates great games and tells their stories, while being honest when the mark is missed. I've visited studios, talked with creators, and analyzed games through objective testing and subjective commentary. Sometimes it's a celebration, sometimes it's a critique, but honesty matters, and access should never influence coverage. That's what I hope to achieve with your support. I'll never let my critique be silenced by a brand, and I won't start now. Games coverage is shifting, how we talk about them, how news is reported, and how players respond. My hope is to build a more balanced, objective voice and have fun while doing it. I know it sounds crazy, almost as crazy as getting hundreds of games with Xbox Game Pass. Okay, last time I make that joke, I promise. They give
Dude, that's what I said. He was kind of becoming an Xbox shell, so I think that's kind of where he's transitioning over to. Is kind of like a Jez Corden or something. I feel like he's gonna be very Xbox oriented, and this isn't as much of a I left IGN because truth isn't there anymore. I'm gonna glaze Xbox as hard as I can. Please, I'm on my knees, Phil Spencer. Please come in my mouth. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, and it sucks because I want more people with more influence to be able to ask questions, because it seems like we're sitting from a point right now where there's a lot of discourse happening and there's a lot of people that are mad, and it's like, well, how are we able to, if we're talking about a diversity of ideas, how are we going about making sure all ideas are at the table? How are you talk a lot about inclusion and stuff, but it seems like it's very one directional. How are you with your studios talking to them and opening up the ideas of maybe having other people of other backgrounds and other thoughts in those things, and not just ones they agree with? That's a question that should be answered. Because right now it feels like a lot of people are mad because there's an overwhelming there's an overwhelming imbalance of people with left-wing ideologies at these tables, and not enough people from the counterposing ideas. And I'm a very firm believer that you need both of those people sitting at the table. You need people of the right and people of the left to sit there and kind of, okay, well, if we want to tell this story, what's the best way to go about it? Well, we should talk about this, and then that idea gets shut down, and then this idea gets shut down, and then you find something a little more balanced that would grab players from all the directions. This is the problem, and this is why I think a lot of games are failing, is because of the lack of understanding of what makes gamers want to play games, and a lack of understanding of how to reach that broader audience. Because they talk about the broader audience and the fact that, we need to just shove diversity down your fucking your fucking vagina hole, right past your clit and right up your fucking all the way through your esophagus. But instead of actually understanding, how do you get that broader appeal? How do you get that bigger consumer base? Well, you need to, if you're wanting to get that thing, you have to make it to where you write a story that's good enough that both sides can see something in it and get something from the game.
give you a platform, my Patreon will include forms for submitting questions to guests. Patrons get priority, but I'll also have avenues on YouTube for submissions. I'll host monthly Q&As where you can call or write in to share perspectives, discuss topics, or debate with me directly. So to recap, my goals are: have more thoughtful conversations with the people building the games industry, share my personal opinions, and also previews and reviews, deliver objective insights through testing and analysis, combine these approaches to discuss news and create features about the games we love or don't. More importantly, provide a voice that asks the questions you want answered and seek the truth. This week, I have an interview scheduled with my friend, Kinda Funny co-founder, Greg Miller.
Dude, Greg Miller's a fucking clown, dude. This is Greg Miller, dude. Let's find a fucking Greg Miller fucking meltdown. Greg Miller meltdown, dude. He has them all the time. All the fucking time. He's a fucking clown, dude. I'm trying to find I don't know, dude. I've seen him. He's a fucking like shill. I know he's a fucking shill. I can't fucking find anything right now off the top of my house. But Greg Miller's a fucking clown, dude. I've never liked Greg Miller. He is so fucking stupid. Like, he's won a fucking he has like 4 PlayStation things where he will fucking suck off PlayStation. Let's find how he is a fucking industry plant shill. Like, I don't know if he's a shill, but he's so fucking insufferable. God damn it. I'm trying to remember what he said, but dude, yeah, he fucking sucks, dude. I just remember he's fucking he's in Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that's in Spider-Man. I don't like Greg Miller. I've never liked Greg Miller.
I also have more interviews lined up with friends and industry leaders shaping the space, which I'll reveal at a later date. Walking away from a dream job means I'm doing this on my own, but with your help, I can turn this dream into a thriving platform for thoughtful conversations, honest analysis, and meaningful insights. Visit patreon.com/SaveStatePlus to help me build it. With your support, I can grow, hire, expand, and create something truly special.
Here we go.
I hope to see you there.
So I'm gonna see. Did he post the if he didn't post the fucking interview with the sit down with Independent Future? That's an hour long. I'm not fucking watching that. I don't know. But we're gonna fucking see. Like, out of touch, dude. 8 minutes. We're gonna see this.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of celebrities, especially these people in the video game industry, that tell you how you should think and how you should vote? Because I know I am. And now that this election's over, I want to bring light, because I saw a tweet from Kid Smooth that brought into light something that Greg Miller and Kinda Funny Games did, where basically they were trying to use their platform and celebrity status, you know, quote unquote celebrity, to tell you how you should vote. And this is the thing I hate. They act like us as, you know, civilians, our little pea brains can't possibly comprehend the world going on around them, even though Greg Miller couldn't even do his fucking tax papers and had to have Colin Moriarty do it for him when he worked at IGN because he's a giant man baby. But now he knows what he's talking about. His values are the quote unquote right way you should be thinking, and anything that he doesn't think is wrong.
Here we go.
I've witnessed.
Greg Miller had the nerve to tell us all of his vote views to vote for Kamala Harris for him as if we are to value his views over our own. Probably the most disrespectful endorsement. And Kid Smooth's a fucking clown too, but like this idea that anybody coming out he's been a left-wing shill for a very long time. I don't need to watch this whole video. I just needed to like get like some fucking Greg Miller hate in here because I do not like Greg Miller, and I just fucking don't enjoy the guy. I've never enjoyed the guy. I just, like, if he's your first guy, I don't believe you're going to do anything that's beneficial for the industry. I think, because Greg Miller fucking sucks off the industry. Greg Miller fucking sits there and just waits for it to come in his fucking mouth, and he's been that way forever. So I don't see Destin doing anything actually fucking beneficial. He's just gonna be the same guy that's there to so he can be there and get his fucking cool interviews with famous people and shake hands and shake dicks with people like Phil Spencer. He's not here to answer questions for the community, of any community of that regard, other than the same fucking shit he's been shilling for his entire career. And that sucks, dude, because I actually think that Destin has had some good takes over the years, but the problem is I don't think he's gonna ask hard questions. I mean, just
This video is brought to you by you.
Podcast and how do we feel about X, Y, and Z and blah blah blah. Recorded with Danny, we did the lobby, and it was like, you know, outrageous at the time for an IGN person to go to GameSpot and be on the lobby, and it was all these crazy doors flung open. And it was the same thing, you know, I was worried about the audience understanding what we were doing, but I was so worried about the industry, right? Where it was like, you know, when we were at IGN, so easy to get a copy, a code, access preview events, etc.
Dude, here's the thing with these guys is they want that code. They want that fucking thing. See, I have gotten codes. I've worked with people, like not in the big industry, but I've worked with people on like the smaller scale thing. And one of the most important things to me is letting me say what I want. I always ask, and if I don't, then I feel like I have to preface that. I will preface that in the video, say that there are things I cannot go into or whatever. And I haven't really, it's not like I'm going to change me. I ask them to watch my content before they provide me with anything. I want them to know who the fuck I am and what the type of shit I say in my videos before, because like I'm not gonna like I will not blame a developer for like clicking on one of my videos, calling me hearing me say something about like retarded people jizzing in my mouth. Like that's like I'm not, I don't expect every studio and everything to be willing to work with me. But these type of people right here, they are willing to just bend the knee to whatever and do whatever. And here's the thing. One day, if I do get big enough and I start making video, like when I make my videos or reviews, I know that I don't have to adhere to anybody but myself. I mean, that's something that's cool when I've worked with other people in the past, and they're like, "Oh, here's what you can, here, you just be you, dude. You just be you." And I try to be as like I try to be like a good guy and not like I'm like, okay, do you want me to tone anything down for this video? I can. I'm willing to be more like adhere a little bit to so that I'm not disrespecting them, because I never want to come off as disrespectful. Well, I'm this way, so you have to just accept it. I'm like, well, I want to be respectful in the same regard, but I'm not gonna sit here and just like these guys will do whatever the fuck that is like seen as okay, so that they can get these sit downs, so they can get these keys.
That's and that was the whole thing. Is like I hope, and I'd like to. Let's get Damon on the Game Over Greggy show tomorrow. And Fran was like, I'll never forget. He went, it's gonna take some time, and I really didn't understand it till we were out, and it was like, oh, like this, we're their ex and they're our ex, and it's gonna you gotta go through that place of hurting each other a few times inadvertently to really get.
Let's find somewhere cool.
And it was just like, oh my god, like I was already doing this stuff and not realizing it. Like, oh, like when they and as long as you believe in it, you've done your job. Like that's what people are there for. I'm never trying to rage bait. I'm never trying to farm or click farm. Like I'm just saying what I feel.
Dude, I feel like, but he does come from such a skewed angle that he's willing to double down when he sees that engagement. That is something Greg Miller definitely does, whether he wants to admit it or not. I mean, that's basically all I have to say on this. I mean, at the end of the day, I just do not respect this man. And I respect Destiny to a slight modicum, but I just don't think he's going to be that genuine. He seems more like a shill than anybody else. He's always seemed like a shill. But he had insider knowledge of what was going on with the Activision thing, and he was always the first one on the queue about that shit. But I just don't see him as being genuine and actually looking at both sides of an argument. I see him just like shilling for whatever and then asking some pretty basic questions, and every once in a while he'll push back slightly. That's who he's going to be. That's who he's always going to be. But yeah, that's all I have. My thoughts on that, dude. That's what I got. That's the the come at the end of the rainbow. So we got one more here. We got one more. This is turning into me shitting on fucking games regardless. And bouncing viewpoints all over the place because I'm probably going to shit on Concord really hard here. But here's something that this video is Concord players are very mad at Marvel Rivals, which I didn't even realize there were Concord players at this point. I didn't think anybody fucking bought that game. When it comes to Concord versus Marvel Rivals, I just think it's obviously what one people are going to pick. Like, one has really hot female characters and like really badass looking guy characters, and the other had the most boring, bland people ever. It didn't matter how good that game's gameplay was. When you're paying $40 and it's a hero shooter and none of the heroes look interesting, no one's going to play that game. And of course the players who did buy it feel like they were gypped, feel like they got nothing, feel like they're sitting in this little world of sadness, because that's what happens at the end of the day when you have something that's super uninspired and completely boring because you're trying to make people happy that don't buy games. And I have a problem with a lot of this ideology of, oh, we gotta make everything like, we gotta make a bunch of fat people and we gotta make everybody like this and that, and then white people suck. It's like, it is a bad idea. It's a bad way to go about things. It's just such a stupid thing to do. But And I know in the past I have been on the side where it's like, oh, you just see ugly female character and you're like, oh, instantly woke. Yeah, that's bad. But when like every character like Concord was, and then it's just uninspired on top of that these things stack on top of each other, you know? And I usually wait till the game comes out before I will make a type of statement on this. So when Concord dropped, and instantly I saw kind of like the gameplay looked okay, but kind of uninspired. Then the character models, it's a hero shooter, and when none of them look appealing, why would I play that game? And then on top of that, it just like felt virtue signaling. Like the characters were so unappealing to the point they felt virtue signaling, and it's like, dude, I'm not here to get lectured.
As you may know, some of the modern audience types have been very upset at Marvel Rivals. And I recently saw that Concord players, yet believe it or not, there's actual Concord players that exist. And they're also very upset at Marvel Rivals. Of course, there's probably a crossover between the modern audience types and Concord players. And we'll get to all that in just a minute. Let's start here though with a little history. 8 months ago, this post on Our Girl Gamers.
Well, here's the thing too where the modern audiences, these are the type of people who are actually IGN's like reader base. These are the type of people who like actually believe that Kotaku is an actual news website and not just garbage shill lamestream media crap. There's a difference between those people who spurg out about DEI and stuff on the internet, and then there's those people that are actually like hyper fixated. I mean, that hyper fixation on DEI goes both ways. And the people like Concord, they see all these IGN articles about how did it fail, why, and because they do not bring up the fact that the characters are unappealing, that the game is unappealing. They sit there and they try to shill for the big company. And then when a game like Marvel Rivals comes out and makes every statement they made about hero shooters being dead, all of their soy ass fucking responses of how, oh, well, we try to bring a hero shooter out in today's market and modern audiences don't want that. That's just not true. That's completely invalid. When you bring a game out that looks sick, has great character models, people want to play it.
Titled, Can We Just Throw Some Backlash at Marvel Rivals? I love how they gave it a serious flair. That just makes it more funny. I've been on the fence so long with Overwatch for years. It has diverse male body types, and then female characters are copy-paste with a bare handful of diversity, and these diverse female characters are given such a little amount of attention in cosmetics that it's clear they don't care for them.
Well, they don't. They don't fucking care for them. They put them in to appease you guys, but nobody actually plays as them, and nobody buys skins for them. That is going to be an issue. And this is just like, this is where you get into the realm of reality. The realm of reality is it's like, not every, this is why I get mad at the people who fucking complain about like, oh, well, just black girl in game, we're going to get mad. People don't care about that. People see that and they don't care. You're in the realm of reality that you think everybody else is thinking about this DAI shit as you. But then you go to the opposite end of the spectrum where they're like, why aren't they making shit? Well, because nobody fucking plays as them. You guys talk about them. You talk about them because it's like, oh, they put a fat black chick in. They put a gay guy in. And it's like nobody actually fucking plays as these characters because you're going to this small fucking install base of people that you're virtue signaling to, and then nobody's going to play as them because they don't care. They're not the majority of normal fucking people who don't care about this online shit do not give a fuck about that. They just don't care. They see something, oh, looks cool, I'm going to play. Oh, the characters look hot, I'm going to play. Oh, that guy, that's how I used to read the 90s Punisher comics. That's how Punisher looks in this game. I'm going to play it. That's why I played it, the Punisher looked cool. That was it.
I'm watching Marvel Rivals go down the same path. The female characters are all tall, slim, and busty, with a good deal of skin, while the male characters are fully covered, minus Hulk and the Fishman. Namor. It's so clear that they only just care for straight male gamers.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made...
And that's not what they just care about. They cared about, like, they looked at the comics and said, how can we make these kind of comically, not comically artistic, more artistically designed to be like the comic book characters, and also, like, put something else that's cool. They did that. Accomplished. Win. It's a win. Everything, almost every character in Marvel Rivals looks freaking cool. Looks like something that I read in a 90s comic book. Back when like comic books were actually fun to read, when they were over the top and awesome. Like if I had to pick an art style from the like US art style that I think is better than even like anime or anything else, I would go 90s comics art. Now the stories weren't like always that good. I don't know like every single story, but how it bleeded out into the 2000s and it was like these over the top badass looking heroes that just like you look at like the 90s X-Men show, that is like peak fucking like art style. And you see a game that actually adheres to that and shows like this old art style that we don't have anymore. It's cool, dude. Like I don't understand these people that like don't understand the reality of the world. People who like the comics see this and they want to play it. That's why people didn't play fucking Marvel's Avengers, because it looked boring and sloppy.
At this point, it's just a slap in the face. They know what they're doing. It's disappointing since the MCU did such a good job making women less objectified. Fans of the MCU will be playing this game. Very few people read the comics in comparison, making it accurate for them as a joke. Oh my gosh, that's gotta be one of the most pathetic things I've ever heard. They need to appeal to MCU fans only. Forget the comic fans. Don't make things accurate for them. As if there would even be an MCU without the original comics. And they end the post by saying, can we just start making noise on these issues? You know what? That's also one of the lamest things I've ever heard.
Here's the thing, too. I actually had this discussion with somebody about Umbrella Academy and how like you can tell where they deferred really bad on Umbrella Academy. I'm not even gonna get into like all the political drama that jumps into that, but there was a certain actor who went from actress to actor, and then all of a sudden the next season's revolving and talking about it. Like there's like 3 episodes right at the beginning, or I didn't watch past like 3 episodes, but they like bring it up again and again and again, and now it's like a thing because like it's not they had to change the character from the comics to adhere to this actor, and now it's like a thing, and it's annoying as fuck, dude, because it's like, and then like people are like, well, why does it matter? I think you care about it too much. It's like, yeah, but if your favorite novel was taken and then just shit on, you would be mad. And they're like, well, yeah, I guess I see it from that perspective. It's like you take these comic book characters and then shit on everything that they had, and like all the original stories don't matter, and you just make up whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, people are gonna be annoyed. And I know that when it comes to like the Marvel superheroes, there's so many different iterations of each of these characters that it can be pretty hard to just create the story, like follow one comic line, just follow one comic line completely. But when it's a story like Hellboy and stuff, and they didn't even try to create any of the Hellboy stuff, I can understand Hellboy fans not liking the Hellboy movies because they took their favorite story, a story that actually has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then said, nah, we're just going to do whatever. We're going to make it Hellboy meets Men in Black. I can understand why they don't like it, and I can understand why people who used to like the first few our first couple seasons of Umbrella Academy were like, we're getting our characters, and then not getting their characters. I can understand being mad about that. And sometimes they do it better. Sometimes, like The Boys, I've only seen the first 3 seasons of The Boys, but The Boys, for the most part, did it way better than the comics. The comic sucks, dude.
Who talks like that? We need to make noise. Can we make noise on this? And what's their noise supposed to do anyways? Like, wow, some unhinged people on Reddit are mad. Yeah, I'm sure NetEase is really going to care about that. I feel like I just waited a decade for my dream Marvel game, and now it's pretty much implied that this game isn't for me. Well, that sounds like great news for everyone else. Imagine being stuck in a lobby with someone like that. The most upvoted comment in that thread says, "Consider my noise added to yours. Just tell me where to direct it." Another top comment said,
Dude, the 30 upvotes they got is the entire Concord like download base. That was like, they were like, we made it at launch. It was 30 people on Steam.
Yeah, who would have thought that League of Legends did it best? It's so weird. We've had AAA games with diverse women for ages, and here we are, 5 steps backwards from that. And then people would argue about League of Legends also being problematic. So yeah, I just thought that was all pretty funny. Hope you enjoyed that one too. You know, aside from the brain rot stuff. And now onto more current posts from only 3 days ago on the subreddit for Concord. The post titled, "Any Concord fans try Rivals yet? I'm curious what impressions the fans of Concord have about Marvel Rivals. I'm considering giving it a try, but Concord holds a special place in my heart."
How does it hold a special place in your heart when it was literally out for like a fucking week? This game died so fast. It died faster than, I don't know, just living. It barely even lived. It was dead on arrival. It had no chance. It was still birthed. It is garbage. And then everybody's like fucking out here like, oh, dude, how can I play Marvel Rivals when I have such a soft place in my heart for Concord? Dude, you played it for like fucking 3 days. You had that lore in your head of, I spent money on this, so I gotta like it. And now that you've been refunded your money, you're sitting here like, well, now I want to play it because I convinced myself into liking it. There is nothing there. So yeah, dude, play Marvel Rivals. At least it's a better game.
Art, and I'm hoping Rivals shares similar qualities. And the OP apparently a top 1% poster over on our Concord. It's a real Concord diehard right here. The top response reading, "It plays nothing like Concord. I personally don't like the movement or shooting at all, and don't get all the hype and praise it's getting. If you want similar gameplay to Concord, Destiny 2 is your best bet. But the PvP in that game is basically unplayable, unfortunately, but the PvE is still good." They'd get a response that reads, "I feel like the majority of the hype and praise it's getting is just because it's one of the first good online Marvel games to come out in this entire period of MCU box office domination, which is waning. And a lot of people who are unhappy with Overwatch trying to signal boost a competitor, the game itself feels pretty dang on."
So this is something that this guy doesn't understand. They think that because of the MCU that it's blowing up, which there's probably a part of it, but it's also the people who are the MCU fans early on that don't like the current trajectory of the Marvel universe and how it's just kind of like doing whatever the fuck and it's all garbage. But then they see something like Marvel Rivals, which goes against that MCU fucking cut cloth, and it's like, we're going back to the roots, and that's where they want Marvel to go back to its roots. So this is them finally getting the game they want, that's more like the comics and less like this fucking slop we've gotten. There's a reason why Marvel fans are actually wanting to play this and not wanting to watch MCU movies anymore, and that's something you're missing. This isn't about just this isn't about Overwatch or the people who like the MCU. It's about the people who are sick of both of these things. They're sick of both of these things, and they see that there is something that is the good Overwatch, the good days of Overwatch meeting the good days of Marvel, and you're getting the best of both worlds.
Polished and on balance compared to Overwatch and even Concord. And this different top comment says, "Why did Concord have to die and Marvel Rivals gets to live? It's not as fun as Concord by a long shot. I hate this timeline." They'd get a response that says, "Well, charging $40 when literally every hero shooter is free was a very big misstep." A response to them reading, "Being free wouldn't save the game, buddy, and Marvel Rivals isn't having success because it's free."
I mean, definitely is causing to its success. I mean, being free is definitely going to have more people download your game than it not being free. Also, the fact that Marvel Rivals came out and was like, our season passes are able to be accessed whenever. It's like against these fucking predatory bullshit that we've had in the industry forever, where you're trying to grind a season pass before it ends, just before you lose everything and then have to buy another one. It's like, oh, it's doing the same thing that Halo Infinite did, and that's one of the best things that Halo Infinite did was when a battle pass was done, you could keep playing on that battle pass. I think it started in the Master Chief Collection, but I've always liked that. It's like, oh, you can work at your own pace toward what you want to finish, instead of being on this weird restrictive timeline that is like, oh, well, I lost that timeline, so it looks like I'm starting over. Here's my $10 again. It's like actually decent monetization in a game. There's a lot of things that Marvel Rivals did really, really well on top of being a free game.
Chain of comments then especially set off the Concord diehards, who began to go full aggro and get very defensive, which you'll see coming up. As user pass foundations would respond to that other user Desfert, where Desfert had essentially said that Concord being free wouldn't have saved it. Pass Foundations responding saying it's one of the main factors of its demise. And that's where we get Desfert saying, yeah, let's say it was free to play. Now tell me the difference, how much longer would it last? Even when the game had a free beta, it only hit 2K and kept dropping players. Basically kept the same issues from the beta, and then it died only a few weeks later. It doesn't make a single difference to paint a ship with other colors. If you don't fix the holes, it'll still sink. Desfert then going on to list a number of reasons why they believe Marvel Rivals is successful, and concluding by saying, seriously people, stop thinking free to play is the answer for everything. It just shows how clueless you guys are. Yeah, some of them might be clueless, but I think a lot of them are also in complete denial. During the whole
but free to play definitely helps. I mean, if you would have launched the game free to play, at least more people would have played it, or launched it on like PlayStation Plus or whatever, and had people like at least download it that way, you would have had more of a install base and more people playing it just because they can and it doesn't cost them money. And then maybe get people in the ecosystem. It's not going to fix all of the issues of Concord, because the list of Concord the list of the issues in Concord are about as long as the list of issues with Redfall, where it's just kind of identity-less slop. That it was going to die any day after it released, but at least free to play would have given it some chance to walk or more crawl before its death.
Concord saga, the whole Concord arc, we saw so many of these defenders ignoring, for example, the whole like DI stuff that Concord had. And it wasn't even that they didn't recognize it was there. It's like they wouldn't admit that it was there. They would just do everything they possibly could to dodge how DI negatively impacted Concord, because hey, they got to do everything they can to defend that corporate policy. Very pathetic. Then we get this hilarious cope that says Concord failed not because of its design, gameplay, price, or quality as a game, but because it became a target in a culture war. From the moment it was announced, discussions about the game were...
No, since the moment it was announced, this is not true. When I first saw that announcement of Concord, before it was ever announced that it was a hero shooter, I was so excited to see that PlayStation was going to have like a FPS game. I thought PlayStation was going to bring a strong story-based FPS game to their world, and instead it ended up being the most generic world fucking shatteringly boring goddamn hero shooter. Like, if Concord would have had like a well-crafted campaign and then like the multiplayer be a hero shooter and the campaign was actually really interesting and like dynamic, it could have had a different take. I mean, if you would have given these characters some sort of identity other than identity politics, it might have had somewhere to walk. But instead, you were like, oh, let's follow a trend, but not understand what made that trend successful. The reason that people played Overwatch is because it had sexy fucking characters. Because Team Fortress already existed. So it was just Team Fortress on console with sexy characters. Like, and that's going to make people play it, dude. I'm sorry, dude. Anybody who, like, plays that game that's, like, was a dude was like, no, Diva's hot. I'm going to play as the robot bitch. It's very fucking simple why it won. And, like, the reason it became, it didn't become, like, this cultural thing until around right before the game launched and people saw the characters and saw that they were all fucking fat and gross. Like, and the characters were all kind of just either boring or fucking obvious political inserts. It really had nothing else going for it other than that. It had pretty generic combat. It had pretty generic map design. And if you're a hero shooter, you can get by on pretty generic combat and pretty generic level design if your characters are interesting. The hero part of hero shooter is the most important.
Dominated by negativity. Critics labeled it as dead on arrival, woke, or trash before there was even a beta or gameplay.
There was, like, if we're talking about, like, actual critics, this is why I hate when people say critics instead of just said the internet. The internet labeled it that. Critics fucking soyed the fuck out over this game.
This constant negativity overshadowed the game itself. Despite being fun for those who actually played it, few people gave it a fair chance. The backlash was so intense that even liking the game invited ridicule. In the end, more people criticized Concord than actually experienced it, which made it impossible for the game to succeed. This person is not taking into account how most people didn't even want to play Concord because the hero roster was terrible. It's like, oh hey guys, here's a bunch of losers you can play as. Yeah, gee, I wonder why that didn't work out. Here's another funny exchange with this user Irate Pirate who responds to the OP. Once again, the OP had asked if any of the Our Concord people had played Marvel Rivals. Irate Pirate saying, yes. In fact, my original plan when Concord was coming out was something like, I'm bored of Overwatch, I'll play Concord until Rivals comes out. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. It's pretty fun. It's not on Concord's level in my opinion, but it's fun. User Icy Ruins responding saying, Concord's level was so high that the game shut down immediately. A different user, Lum Sauce, then chiming in saying, y'all are still here. Figured you people would have stopped hanging around hating a few months after the game shut down, but I guess life moves slow when you have nothing worthwhile in it. And Icy Ruins responds saying that this post was recommended on their homepage. I also find it funny that Lum Sauce is talking about people still being here on the Concord subreddit, when that can also be applied to the Concord defenders. The game lasted all of 2 weeks, and has been dead for months. And then hopping over to the Marvel Rivals subreddit, we've got this post that says, talk about bad takes. And then posting an image from Outlet the Gamer and an article that they made titled, Marvel Rivals has too many heroes for its own good. You're probably familiar with the Gamer. Many channels, including mine, have talked about takes from that outlet.
The Marvel Rivals needs more characters. I don't care what anybody says. I want to see Deadpool. I want to see Cable. I want to see every Marvel character eventually in that game. I want it to be I want the character select to look like the fucking character select from Lego Marvel. That's what I want it to look like. I want to play as fucking Howard the Duck. I want more characters. And if you, like, I feel like that's what's cool about this is you can just keep adding characters like periodically, and there will still be Marvel fans that want to play as their own character. And at a certain point, you'll have so many characters that nobody will even give a fuck about balance because they get to play as their favorite character. It's honestly brilliant because they have so much to pull from.
They're the same type of gaming journalists who often try and call gamers problematic, and they're constantly getting offended at things. They were also being laughed at a few weeks ago during the Veilguard arc, as they made a number of articles attempting to defend Dragon Age the Veilguard, only to then later make one where they kinda walked that back a little bit after they saw the public opinion on the game was negative, and nothing these journalists could do would change that opinion. As many gaming journalist outlets, for example also IGN, did attempt to defend Veilguard and influence the public in a way that they completely failed at. And now the corpo journos over at The Gamer are attempting to insult Rivals and prop up Overwatch.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even just to prop up Overwatch. They're salty. They're salty that Concord fucking failed. Because Concord was going to be... If Concord would have succeeded, they could have owned all of the chuds on Twitter. They could have owned all the chuds, and then they could engagement bait for the rest of their existence. But because a game that is actually opposing everything they believe in terms of where they want the gaming industry is succeeding, then they're out there trying to engagement bait off of that. They know that they're going to get the engagement, and they know that they're going to get people mad about it, and then they're happy because they're making these people mad. It's very simple, their fucking grift that they're running on. It's not a very complex situation in the slightest, actually. And I just hate that this is where the news outlets are at, because like, you're not news then. You're there because you have a fucking bone to pick, and you want to create as much angry engagement as possible.
That Rivals should have taken more time with its roster, and making a very weird argument that Rivals has released too many heroes already, saying that people don't care about playing them well or trying to learn what their abilities are, which is obviously a really weird thing to say. Like, obviously people want to play their heroes well. They then double down on the argument that Rivals has too many heroes, and in the lead up to its full launch, more additions were confirmed for the roster, making it hard to determine who I'd main, and if I would even have enough time to learn all their ins and outs before release.
You don't need to learn all their ins and outs. That's what makes a game like Overwatch in this so great. Like, you don't need, like, your normal fucking person is gonna pick like 1 or 2 characters they're gonna play as. They're gonna have their main character. And the cool thing about Marvel Rivals is you're gonna pick your main character because you like that character. You have a previously experienced time with that character. Like me with the Punisher, I used to read Punisher comics, so obviously I'm gonna pick the Punisher because I have like a pre-existing like attachment to that character, and I'm gonna play as him and I'm gonna have fun. And a lot of other people play as Punisher, so I have to like fucking like first thing I do as soon as the match is going up is swing up to the Punisher and try to get him, because like my whole thought here is like I want to play as this character. Let's fucking do this. I'm like hyped about it, and I want to play the fucking fuck out of this character. And then if he's picked, then I pick somebody else that like is my secondary or something. Somebody like who I played as Moon Knight. I think I played as Moon Knight and Wolverine. I think those were the 2 I played as. I played as Venom once too. But usually I try to go for Punisher as quick as possible. Oh god, I play as Star-Lord a lot. And I think I played as one of the chicks. I can't remember which one. But it's like you have this pre-existing idea of what you want to play as, and you pick them and you play as them. And the more characters they add, the less you're going to think about like being professional at all these characters. Because I think that idea of adhering to the pros is such a dumb thing. Because here's the thing: games don't get a professional community unless the game is good and has a bunch of people playing it already. The pros will come in like naturally and gradually to your game. If the game you build it, they will fucking come, and they will come hard. So the idea that we need to make a game just for the pros to play, and it has to be a perfect balancing, and that makes it not fun for the regular Joes, because they like finding like the character that's OP as fuck to play with. And then when you get into the pros, they'll just ban that. They'll put in a ban method on like ranked or something where you can ban a character. It's pretty fucking simple. And then they can keep adding characters, and eventually people will just play the character that they fucking like the best. To me, it's not complicated at all. But these journalists don't fucking get that.
Turns out that I didn't, and now the sheer act of playing Marvel Rivals is daunting. Once again, I find myself comparing it unfavorably to Overwatch. Yeah, this just sounds like a massive skill issue. I only started playing Rivals like 2 weeks ago, so not only did I not play the beta, but I also started it late technically. I don't find it daunting at all. It's a fun game, and I'm not even a great player, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know plenty of people probably didn't play in the beta, and they're also having fun with the game, so I don't...
Rocket Raccoon I played as. He's fucking fun as fuck to play as. I haven't played as this chick. I saw the sword and thought she was a melee build, and I said no, but the fact that she's shooting fucking ninja stars makes me want to play as her.
Get what they're trying to say here. Except it seems like they're trying to make any excuse they can to try and insult Rivals and prop up Overwatch. Continuing, they say, Overwatch turned each new hero into a legitimate event. You would follow each update and tease with fervent anticipation, waiting to find out exactly what role they might fulfill and what they would look like. That won't happen when Rivals adds Sentry. Every new hero was unexpected, but for Rivals, it feels like we already have to temper our expectations after NetEase jumped the gun on its A-listers. Yeah, so I think this
isn't just the A-listers, though. You have so many more characters. Like, Deadpool is not in the game yet. And Deadpool's a big character. There's way more, like, Cable's a big character, and he's not in the game yet. Like, there is tons and tons of characters that have yet to even be touched that probably have, like, big communities out there that you can... And you can have, like, character drops at all times. There's a bunch of niche, like, Jeff the Shark. Who the fuck is that? But he's in the game. So, like, there's so many, like, eras of heroes to pull from. Like Beast isn't in the game. I don't think Beast is in the game. But like there's so many characters just from the X-Men they could introduce slowly, and we would constantly still have stuff. Like a lot of the MCU guys are there, but there's more to still pull from, and it's crazy to think that this is it.
It's just terrible.
This just shows that you have no fucking clue what you're talking about, and you wanted to write an article because you were mad that Concord failed, and you don't want this game to win because it has sexy characters, and Overwatch is moving away from that.
I'm actually a huge fan of the Sentry. He's probably my favorite Marvel hero. I like how he's a very flawed character. I also like the whole Void thing. And then when he merges with the Void, I think that's one of the sickest character designs in all of comics. Regardless, the point they're trying to make here is that Rivals has already used the A-listers in comics, so the next heroes they release aren't going to be very interesting or compelling, essentially, which is beyond absurd. There's still so many A-list heroes that Rivals hasn't added. Comes off like they just don't know what they're talking about. Like, here's some, not including the...
I didn't fucking pre-watch this. It's common sense, dude. You don't need to even pre-watch this shit to know that this is fucking common sense and to know exactly what they're going to say, because this is what any fucking normal person would say. This is what anybody who has like half a fucking brain cell or two sticks to rub together to make themselves fucking nipples hard to make this jump to reality. The problem is a lot of these people don't live in reality and they're just fucking stupid.
Coming heroes in season 1 and not including villains, but we got like Cyclops, Kitty Pryde, Rogue, X-23, Blade, Jubilee, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Iron Lad, and Professor X.
How did I fucking forget Blade? Blade is one of my favorite characters of all time. If this game would have launched with Blade, I would have played Blade over the Punisher.
And they end by saying, I could be proven wrong, but right now I'm not very excited about new heroes to come to Rivals, because we are already dealing with an excessive roster. There is no moderation and a desire to give players a temporary power fantasy, instead of easing them into things. This will only hurt the game in the long run, and feeling that way right now isn't a good sign. Well, considering that it's journalists from the Gamer saying all this stuff, then it probably is a good sign actually. Generally, if you do the opposite of what these sort of gaming journalists say, then you'll be very successful. But yeah, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. If you enjoyed the coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing.
So this is, yeah, dude, he was 100% on facts. This was all facts. This was a really, really fucking good video. I agreed with almost everything, and I know that like when I had a video similar to this, like the South of Midnight one, I was very, very, very defensive for South of Midnight. It's just like we have both of these games out. We can do an actual comparison. We can look at the problems that Concord had. It's not like we're talking about something that doesn't exist in reality. So I can look at this and be like, yeah, here's the actual facts of the matter, and I can make that jump. I don't like the speculation bullshit that kind of was started by the quartering. The quartering really was the streamline on that. I think that the conversation needs to be had about the DEI and bullshit in games, but I think that it needs to. I think that by showing people aren't gonna buy these games when they come out is one important thing. Like when the game comes out and you see that it's bullshit, don't buy it. I mean, it's fairly fucking simple. And that's the cool thing about, like, South of Midnight is I'm going to play that shit on Game Pass, and if it's fucking mid, I will make a video on why it's fucking mid, and I will complain about each of those aspects. But I don't want to be the guy that's coming out here before the game is when we don't have any information other than one shitty community lead talking out of their ass. But, like, here we have both examples. These journalists can look at both examples and then look at what made the other game successful and say, let me ponder on that a second. Oh, point A to point B, they didn't make sexy characters like Overwatch. They had boring characters in a hero shooter. That's why it failed. Okay. Well, what made Marvel Rivals succeed? One, it has characters that have pre-existing IPs, and there's a ton of them. There's a fuckload of them, and the game released with a lot of characters. So a lot of people who were like hoping their favorite character was in the game now have one of their favorite characters in the game. My favorite Marvel character is not in the game, Blade, but Punisher was somebody I read a lot of, and the fact that Punisher was in there, I wanted to play it just to play as Punisher. Then you have the other fact that the characters are attractive. There we go. We have attractive characters. So there's like, I already said the attractive characters, but then you have an art style that's incredibly, Overwatch had an incredible art style that was like drawing that people were like, oh, look how cool Overwatch looks. But then you look at Concord and it was boring and generic. There was nothing interesting about the character models in Concord. Even, I'm not even talking about them in like the terms of like the woke shit. I'm talking about just artistically, they were boring as fuck. They did not look interesting. It's the same reason why Marvel Avengers failed, because there's nothing interesting about the character designs. It's not that, oh, they weren't hot enough or whatever. I'm sure some people said that, but to me, I saw Marvel's Avengers and I said, lame. They look boring as fuck. They look like shitty versions of the movie characters. It's like, why would I buy a shitty movie tie-in? But like this, I'm playing it because it looks like the shit that I grew up reading when I was a little kid, you know? I think that's the blatant difference between a lot of the discourse about this shit is like this type of like, oh, this is what happened. These are the points that led here, and this is why the video game journalists are fucking retarded. I think that's all facts, but that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe.